So we are back for, I think this will be the final segment until the actual live stream where I talk about this and release it into the wild. But now we're going to add in a few interactions and just spice up the whole experience, make it look really nice. I think that's always something fun to do. So yeah, let's get to it. Okay, cool. So I was thinking for the homepage hero loading animation, pardon me, I might have this right side kind of like slide in, like scale in from the right, and then we could do something with the slider here, like the whole slider element, kind of have that like float in. Um, yeah, I think that'll look nice. So let's do that. So like on the page load, let's make sure. Okay, so it's hero right side image. We're gonna animate it from the right side. It's gonna slide in. So I'm gonna set the transform origin to the right side here. And I had quite a few things running earlier, so I'm just gonna refresh this real quick. Cool, there we go. So got that right side origin adjusted, and we're gonna scale this from the right side out. So let's go to page load. So when, well, I'm thinking now because I think we have to have a whole modal that kind of shows up on top, verifying age. So let's go do that. See what they have on the Aviation Gen site. I thought they have like a whole thing about, oh, is it already time or are you over the age of 21? We essentially need a modal that shows up. If we don't, pretty sure you can get in trouble for doing that. So I want to add that in there. Just playing a little bit here. It's resizing. Let me think as far as that resizing goes. Where's that modal? I've got a few of those, so I'll go to my dashboard and just search. It's okay, just do some cross-site copy and paste. Go with the modal, and let's see. I've got that's an older modal. Let's see. I might have some other projects where I've been using Interactions 2.0 a bit more. Let's see. I'm gonna say. Wait, let's open up that space next design one because it's got a nice modal that happens on click events. So let's see, I think it's like on the booking element here. We have that wiggle booking engine. What does that do? Maybe another button. I know it's on this getting started button. Show modal. Yeah. So I just want to copy that modal over. Where do we have it? Content. Here's a modal parent. Okay, so I'll copy that modal parent. Come on over here, and I'm going to put it next to the button. And let's see if we just copy this getting started button and paste it in just so we can get that interaction. Paste it in. Cool. So now we've got that interaction. But I'm going to bind it to this bind now button instead. And I'm going to add it to happen on page load. I think. Yeah, because this is going to be a concept initially. So let's see. Mouse click. Start an animation. Show the modal. I have to bind that all because it's not connected. It's like, what are you trying to have me have show up here? I'm gonna make the modal parent at the bottom here. Cool. So let's see. Initially, it's hidden, so that's the whole modal parent. All right, let's change the target to the modal parent. And I'll do it. Select an element on the canvas. Okay. I thought that I can just select it here directly. Well, if it's hidden, it's kind of hard to do that. Let's just set it to display block. Yeah, I can go back and animate that. Change the target. Cool. Oh, okay. So now it's functioning. And we want this one to also be that modal parent. Cool. And the opacity of the entire, maybe the background. Yeah, it's retarget. I can't remember what I was saying. Let's do modal background. And do that here. This opacity, let's retarget that to the background. Cool. And change those to the actual modal container. Just the modal container. Cool. And we have to move that modal container too. Cool. There we go. So now I've got it. So go ahead and hit done. Let's edit the modal content here. Let's say, sorry, this is just a model. Or this is just a concept. We can change the text here. Say this aviation gen project was designed by Jeff Black. And let's link off to Jeff Black's dribble. Black. Okay. Here's Jeff. He's awesome. He does amazing work. Go follow him. Let's link that up. Let's have Webflow for fun instead of the space challenge. I can use, see, will the Windows thing show up in here? Oh, I guess it doesn't. Smiley face. There we go. Cool. If you push the Windows and semicolon key, then that shows up. It's pretty fun. Okay. I think I'm going to add like a drink here. Drink. It's kind of a little cocktail. Yeah, looks nice. And then this is just going to be a button. It says check out this aviation, or at aviation gen. Is that how you spell it? Let's go look up their handle. Aviation American gen. I think just, yeah, it's aviation gen. Gen site concept. Designed by Jeff Black. J Black Design. There's Jeff. And it's made in Webflow. And the text here says share this page on Twitter. Okay, save and close. And right now it just has, let's make this button instead. Style. And let's say, let's just add in a button here so we can style it real quick. So we'll call it like button full or something. Button, and add modifier full. Yeah, okay, we've already got that class created. But button full. Save, close. There we go. And that close button should close this. Let's get rid of stuff. These are some old ones. Old interactions. Close. Yeah. There we go. Cool beans. So now we've added that here. So let's get out of this. Wonder if there's any kind of like funny play on words so we could add in here. This is just a concept. This is a no. I think it's just for fun. Hopefully we get a response from Ryan Reynolds. I have no idea what his response will be. But since this is going to be a concept, I'm going to link that up here as well as on the other slide. Let's add that same interaction. Mouse tab. Show modal, make sure it works. Cool. And we'll do that again. Maybe on these. Oh, I forgot. We need to add in. Where was that? This little view piece here. Yeah, let's add in like a little view button. It'll show up. Oh, never mind. It's got to be a set of div block. And set it to like view button. Absolutely positioned. Top and the bottom left. And add a little bit of padding around it. And set it up like 25 pixels. Yeah, and then add in text, view, and I think this has a small, okay, so it's like dark text. I'm just going to add a little bit extra padding, 45 pixels of padding, and set this to be black and all caps. And I was kind of thinking it might be nice to have like, it could be a white background or something. So maybe just like modifying the design there a little bit. I think Jeff would like that. I don't know. I'll ask his opinion for sure before I show this to the world. Because we don't have an arrow there. So I was just going to add one as text, but I usually like having like a background color. Let's just go with this one. Let's go with this arrow. So that's like 20. Or, yeah. Kind of scooch it over. Cool. And when we hover it over, thinking it could be yellow. And maybe the arrow can move over to the right a little bit. And maybe we can add a little more like padding. Can we do that? Let's see. And we have to add in the transitions. background color, and background position. Yeah, it looks a little funny. Let's adjust that a tiny bit. It feels kind of weird with all that padding happening. Just have like a little slight adjustment there. Just like 5 pixels, so it's not quite as extreme. Cool, so this whole thing is going to actually light up when you hover over it, and we can always adjust this later on. I'm just adding something in here. So we have each of these. Oh no. I added drink link to the image. Oops. Drink link. Cool. There we go. That looks nice. Yeah, it's still a clear CTA. I haven't linked everything up here. I could do that. I'm thinking about it. Also thinking about making these like, or having a min height on them, or min height on this section more than 60 VH. Might do by view width instead, like 40 view width. Yeah, it looks a little better. 50 view width. Sorry. Let's go 45 view width. Yeah, looks nice. A little more square. Cool. Now let's get back to the interactions because got a little carried away there. Because we initially just wanted that modal, and we can go ahead and make a modal. Let's duplicate this class. Duplicate. Call it like modal on page load. And this one's set to display block. And please verify age. And it's usually has some kind of language like by entering this website, you verify that you're over the age of 21 years old. I'm going to open this up in incognito mode just so I can take a quick look at what the text is within their modal. It says, "Are you of legal drinking age to board this flight?" I think that's a lot more fun. And it also says, "You must be of legal drinking age in your country to view this website. Please fly responsibly." And this, we can just get rid of that. Add a button. It says, yes. And probably want another button as well. I think we made an outline one. This one will say no. 10 pixels of margin to it. No. And it's going to add like 2 pixels and background color white. And this one is going to link off to where should this link off to? I don't know. What would be a funny thing we can link off to? We wouldn't be able to have this close button up here either on this one because they have to confirm it or not. So my thinking is when they click no here, that it's going to link them off somewhere else. I don't really know where to link them. Gosh, this would be fun, more fun on a live stream again. Um, take a sip. LaCroix. Could link them off to the LaCroix website. Just do that. LaCroix. LaCroix sparkling water. There you go. This should be friendly. Yeah, it's gonna link off there. Some people might appreciate that. Some people may not. We'll see. Cool. I'm gonna delete that interaction there, and this one's gonna be the close modal. Start animation. Hide modal. Duplicate this. Hide homepage modal, and change the target to modal page load. Cool. Change this target. Cool. So it should go. There we go. And let's change this target as well to that modal container instead. To this modal container. Cool. There we go. Boom. And yeah, that's good. So we want this to show up. Let's adjust this modal background to be like dark. Because it can't be the same. Like you're not supposed to be able to see any of the content. Wonder, can we add a blur to it? What's that gonna do? No, it doesn't really blur the content. We can have all the content behind it blurred though, because of the new interactions, which is pretty cool. Because we're gonna have all the things happen when we click this yes, basically. As far as like entering the site and seeing all the animations take off. So yeah, let's do that. Gonna have to do some initial things before that though. So let's hide this for now. We'll come back to that interaction. So on page load, let me think. So when page starts loading, well, I really just want to set an initial display. I want it for like this whole section. Start animation and all things blurred. Cool. Filter. Yeah, there we go. Everything's gonna be a little blurred. Like 10 pixels. Oh, that's nice. That filter on this. Blur. 10 pixels of blur. Yeah. Oh, it's so nice to be able to animate that. Cool, and that's going to be set to the initial state, and I want this one to be on all classes. So is that not going to animate the rest, or blur the rest of the stuff? Oh, I guess this one has a section. Let's give it the filter 10. Filter. Let's see if I do this to be on class based. Oh, okay, that already takes care of that one. Takes care of that one and that one. Okay, cool. I don't need this one. Sweet. Cool. So everything's blurred on page load. And I want this right side image to have like a thing to the right, or scaled on the x-axis. Yeah, down to like 0. And let's think. Have a nav bar. I don't know. I don't want to get too crazy with this. I don't even know if that'll look good. I think it's gonna look good when you just like unblur everything, because that's a pretty sweet effect. Cool. So I'll do that section, hero section, cool beans. Okay, so let's go back to this. So to display block. So when you click on this button, we want all the sections to be set back to like showing. So add filter to like 0 blur. Dope. So cool. And the hero section, filter to no more blur. And also next section, filter, no blur. Set that by class. Okay, so let's see. So on page load, we've got this. We can kind of scroll stuff, but it's all blurry. That's pretty neat. I'll say yes. Nice. That's cool. So yeah, it's a nice little blur effect. I've never been able to use that before. It's literally the first time I've ever done that. I've always wanted to. Okay, cool. Let's see. What else do we want to do? So let me scroll into view here. Okay, let's get out of that. Collapse all these. Set this to be hidden. It's raining outside. I don't know if that's going to be picked up by the mic or not. I think it'd be cool to make these kind of count up. I did that kind of recently. I don't know if it'll do it while it's in view, so let's maybe do that later on instead. But we can do some stuff here to where, so when we scroll into view, I'd really like this to kind of pop in, so I might do that. Let's think. So after you click that button, you need a lot more stuff to be happening. So I guess we can just go crazy on that timeline. Let's just do that. Because we might as well. Cool. Cool. So we're here. Everything's unblurred. I'd like to add some initial appearances to this. So I'm going to move it down a bit, like 50% or something. Let's do pixels. 25 pixels. Yeah, let's do that. And that's going to move up to 0, and opacity 0%, opacity 100% there, and I want the move to be like a nice ease. Do the same thing. Okay, so that's going to make everything happen at the same time. So I kind of want this to happen after the fact. This is fine to all happen in like half a second. Yeah. And this, do like 0.25. And I'm going to add animation for this to move into place after like 0.1. Yeah. 2.25. Set to ease. Move to 5 pixels down. And move this up here. 0 pixels. And we need an opacity. 0. Yeah, that's fine. So that'll like, those will fade in. Have this delay or duration of 0.25. Wait, aren't these all? These all need to be initial. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so they kind of like float in. And I might make these all be 0.5 instead. Start. And then this one pops up as well. So move after like 0.2. And the move is going to be an ease. It's going to move to 0. And it's going to have an opacity to 100.5. It's going to ease. Cool. And then add move to 25 pixels down. And an opacity. Of 0. And just put this up here. Cool. And then cool. And the buy button. Definitely want that to pop up. Or I might have this one kind of scale in. It's like just something a little bit different to happen there. So it's going to happen after like 0.3. And it's going to go to a scale of 1. And it's going to do in out back, because that's always nice. Along with, should have an opacity. Yeah, let's do an opacity fade on it too, to 100%. So to 0.3. Yeah. Let's do scale like 0.5. And set that as initial state. And opacity 0 as initial state. Cool. So now all the stuff will unblur, and that'll kind of fly in. And might have this also do a scale thing. Yeah, why not? So we'll do a scale to 1. and it'll be an in out back because that's one of my favorite. Happen 0.4. And when it comes to scales, I kind of like those happening like 0.25 of a second. So let's adjust this one to 0.25. Ah, cool. There we go. And the play icon is scaling. And let's have it scale from 0. That was the initial state. So yeah, that was nice. Cool. So we'll have that initial state where everything's kind of blurry. Why is the modal not showing up? Should probably have this modal on page load show up. Hide show. Show yourself. There we go. Cool. Yep. Okay. Cool. There we go. And we'll click yes. It seems, I don't know if it's a little choppy or not. Kind of feels like this button edge, like it has like square edges to it. That might just be my screen. Yeah, because there it looks fine. Let's publish that. Oh, we definitely styled slide too. So let's just copy this. We're flying above the clouds. Fly above the clouds. Cool. I think. Yeah. Might add a little bit more like timing in there. And I might have like the nav kind of come down. I haven't decided yet. I know it's a good amount of stuff going on there. And we still have to style this little guy here. And do a lot more animation. Let's get a feel of what everything looks like. Cool. Okay. Still deciding if I want to make that like kind of flow in from the right or anything. Because we could have everything kind of like float in. So on page load, this can be like offset over to the right completely and hidden. So yeah, we could do that. Yeah, why not? Okay, let's go back to our button. And let's click on this. Let's add a move. And we want to move it 100% to the right. I can set that as initial. And we want to move it in like right around here at like 0.4. Move it to 0%. And let's change this one to 0.5. And we want this move. Let's make that like a ease. I don't know if I want it scaling in or if I maybe want like a swipe over it. We could totally do a swipe. Debating right now what I'd want to do. So I feel like we can have a little more stuff going on page load too. Like we can maybe have those props spinning somewhere. I think that'd be fun. So let's do that. Gonna copy one of these. Copying that propeller blade. And going back here. And I want to go to page load. Actually, let's close that in this. Set this to be visible. Let's make this a link block. Call it button. Give it some text. Say yes. No underline. And I wanted to add in those props. Did I not add it in correctly? Pillar blade, small, like 40 by 40, and absolute position inside of this. Where did all my styles go? Oh, we only styled it on tablet down, didn't we? Yeah, that's what happened. So it's like, what are you talking about? Because it'll show up here just fine. Get rid of these styles. Okay, so it's 45 by 4 pixels. 4 pixels. Cool. And the blades. What's the blade? 20 by 4. Relative positioning. Float left. White background color. And 4 pixels of radius. And let's div block 2. Let's rename this propeller point. 4 pixels. It's like 4 by 4. That's what we made it. Yeah. And it floats left. Oh, we might make them black props here. Yeah, let's make them black here. Cool. The propeller point be transparent. What would it look like if it's 5 by 5? Oh, we had this at like 50% or something. Yeah, that looks more like a propeller. Let's put that inside of another div. Hold loading propeller. This one's going to be like 48 by 48. And it'll be absolutely positioned left. And drop the propeller blade inside of there. Or, yeah. And we'll set this to flex styles. Let's see what's that going to do for us. Yeah, relative positioning. And let's copy and paste them. Oh yeah, that's fine. Just make sure that they're what's it called? I don't need to paste that inside of here. I do want them stacked. Okay. And let me think. Prefer for them to be relative positioned. There we go. Now they're on top of each other. And we're going to add that same click trigger. Is it hide home page modal? Yeah. That's it. And get rid of this one. And let's move this over a tiny bit. 10 pixels. And maybe set this to be like button right. It doesn't have to be quite that wide. Pixels. This is going to be pretty tall when it's rotating. Let's take a look. Probably blade small. Let's just rotate it real quick just to see what that looks like. Yeah, it's taking up a good amount of that box, which is okay, but might make it a little bit smaller. Okay, so now we want on page load. Pardon me. So when page starts loading, spin props, and that first propeller blade is selected. I think they usually spin counter or different directions on one another. So rotate it. It has to rotate from 359 degrees is the initial state, and it goes to 0. Is that right? I can't remember. One of these, like it starts there. Maybe it starts at 0 degrees and goes to 359. Yeah, because we want that to keep spinning when you loop it. And this 0 should be, there we go, 0 seconds. And set it to, why is that not clicking? Bug there. There we go, now it's spinning nicely. We want to make that other one spin too. So let's click on this one. Make it spin. Whoa. Rotate it negative 359. And spin. Rotate to 0. Put this here. And let's make this last like 0.25 seconds. Okay. Cool. So on load, save this. Refresh. I think I ran into a small issue there. I need to fix it. Oh, that's a little bit too fast. I'm actually gonna just scale this down a little bit. So I just scale it to like 0.8. Yeah, just so it's a bit smaller. Spin props. Set this to another 0.5. I'm not crazy about that. Yeah, that doesn't look super great. Maybe I'm gonna start one of them. It's like set like this so that it rotates a bit differently. Let's make this one second. Rotate it. 90 degrees. Cool. And then we go here. We want it to be 90 degrees. And we want it to rotate to 449. Cool. Looks like it's trying to get started there. Yeah. I wonder if it would look better if they're both spinning the same way. So if we did this one, it's like 449. Looks a little bit better. I haven't decided yet. Yeah, that does look a bit better. And they're not synced up perfectly, so that is okay, because it's supposed to like kind of start out like that. And I don't want this no button to be like massive. Trying to position it a little bit differently. Let's see. Maybe we can just get rid of, make it a little bit taller. 50 pixels, because no, we want it shorter by 2 pixels. It has the border. Oh, that is messing with me. 40 by 48. Okay, now they're lined up. That was really messing with me. I'm gonna set this one to float right over here. Yeah. Because we want them to click on this. And I'm going to make this even smaller. Maybe 0.6? Is that too small? I think that's okay. There's a lot going on with that animation. Looks kind of like it's stopping and going, stopping and going. Let's see. Yeah, it should be 449. These are at 0. These are both linear, half a second. Yeah, that works. I could make them adjust a little more, but I think this'll work for now. Cool. So if we go to preview, that's spinning. And we don't have any aviation branding in this, so I want some aviation branding. So add some aviation branding in here. And let's make it centered. And let's make this text centered. And make it a bit smaller. You have legal drinking age to board this flight. Should the confirmation be on the right or the left? I don't know. I think that this should say this text. And float this left. And this should say not yet. And I'm sure the Croyle appreciates some backlinks. We'll see. Maybe not. Who knows? Okay. Cool. Okay. Let's go ahead and set this to display none so we can keep on cruising through. Cool. So okay, when we scroll into the section, I might just use some quick effects here, honestly. So scroll into view, and I'm going to have it slide in from bottom. So just kind of, it's a nice fade in effect. And do the same thing for this. Scroll into view, slide in from the bottom, delay like 0.25. Or wait, 25 milliseconds? Is that 25 milliseconds? 250 milliseconds? Yeah. I didn't realize this was in milliseconds. That's cool. And we want this to also do that. Fade in. Or no. I guess, yeah, let's do a fade on it. Why not? It's 500 milliseconds. So, click yes. A lot happens. Scroll down. And let's do the same thing here. And scroll into view. Let's do, I'll do grow animations on these because that'll be cool. Let's think. Let's do fade on each of these. On 5. No, there's no offset on that one. I guess we could do it on the. No, let's do it element by element. Okay. So these ones, I kind of want to have them like grow in or something. Let's see, grow, what's that look like? Boom. That's kind of cool. And we'll have this fade out at the add an offset, like 500 milliseconds, and then this will just fade in. Um, 750. It's going to be 1,000, so it's a full second there. 1250. So it's going to grow in. Grow 1500. This one's going to fade in. Up here. Could have this. Let's see, what should we have it do? Could have it like, let's drop, look like. That's a bit much for this one. Let's fly from right. Shrink big. Shrink. Let's grow big. Looks nice. And that's going to wait for about 2 seconds. I don't know, that might be too slow, but let's see. Oh, it looks nice. And now each of these, I'm probably just going to do the entire row, like have that come up instead. So we'll have this and this fade in. So let's scroll into view. Just have it slide in from, let's do this one from the left and this one from the right. Yeah, I think that would be cool. Right. Yeah, because then kind of come together. And we could do that with, let's see how do we break these out. So we could have these kind of like fade in, similarly to how they are on the current site. I think we kind of scroll down here, each of those kind of come in. I really do love this branding though, it's pretty sweet. Okay. Yeah, let's have this fade in from the left, the other side fade in from the right. Thinking, do I want to do that with like a scroll interaction, like as you scroll through it? Yeah, because then we can apply that to all the elements with that. Yeah, let's do that. So like while scrolling in view, we're going to show drink assimilation. And select this left side flex call. Move it from the left to the right region. It's like 50% of the way scrolled in. Move this to 0%. And left like negative 100%. And I also want to add an opacity fade. Have it 0. opacity 100. So there it's like scroll in, fades in, yeah. And we want to do this by class. But only children elements of this entire row, yeah. And then I'm gonna do the drink link, or let's do drink link. Have this move to the right by 100%. The 0% opacity. Pardon me. 0%. And 100% opacity. And we want this to also happen on class-based. Only children with this class. So then we also want this to happen on all the drink rows. Cool. Kind of scroll through here. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, that's so cool. So I kind of want to offset them a little bit to like maybe start a little bit early. Or maybe we can have them finish earlier. Let me think. Yeah, when element starts entering, let's add like, what happens if we go, I'm not entirely sure what this setting's going to do. So there happens there. Oh, it's so cool. Let's maybe get rid of this. End animation when element is or starts exiting. And offset here, like 50%. Let's see how intense that is. That's pretty sweet. Cool. I'm pretty happy with that one. It's so interesting being on a Windows PC because you kind of approach the interactions differently because scrolling is usually much smoother on Mac devices or Apple devices. Whereas on a PC, you've usually got a mouse that doesn't have as smooth a scroll, but you want a great experience for everyone. So it's something to be mindful of as you're building out interactions. Cool. And let's just do some more quick effects here. Let's do a slide in. Let's have these come in from the left. Another slide in. Left. 250 milliseconds. And another slide in from the right. 500 milliseconds. Cool. And I usually like keeping footers fairly static. Just now realized that this, I don't want anything in there. Like if anything, I want like an arrow. Cool. And what I would do from here is I would add an entire collection of all the locations because that's really important to include. Let's also link these up. So this one's going to go to, let's make origins actually link to this section here. So we'll call this make this a section first off. It's a HTML5 tag. Header, or let's call this like the main. Nav already has a tag on it. Section. These are both H2s. Should be, so it's an H3. But that already has a style. I mean, I'm okay with that being an H2. It's usually okay to have a few H2s on the page. The big thing is just one H1. But I could always go back and revisit SEO. Yeah, fun stuff. But cool. Let's call this origins. And we'll link this down to origins. And let's call this production. And link this to production. And let's call this cocktails. And link cocktails to cocktails. And we don't have a link to Old Tom. That's okay. And we'll just call this the footer. So these are footer. And the locator, I would honestly want like a bit more going on there. I would probably make the locator a lot more visible. But we want people to go through the whole experience. That's the objective here. But they'd scroll down here, enter in zip, and then go to a search page. Cool. We can go look at search results. And just call this locations. And you're viewing sample results here. So we call this search. Search input. Search button. Call it search. Cool. Search results list. So we can customize how all the products in different locations show up, because that's really what people want to see here. But I'd just do that with like a CSV import, and we'd make these look a lot prettier. Probably make these search results. I think, like when I think of location, I'd want like a map on the left-hand side. So some sort of add a map. Map side, and just make it like 20%. It's a really small map, like 150 pixels maybe. And let's flex this. Yeah. And let's drop all these into div here. Just so we have that kind of stacked approach. And let's make this at least like square. Let's make it like 200 pixels instead. This should be 200 pixels. Let's make this container be like, let's make this 75% and the other side 25%. It'll look better. 25%. Cool. And we can flex these. Add a little bit of margin. So it'd look, something like this. We could style these headings, and we'd link up each of these map fields. We have to add in the API key first to do that. We can add background images, all that fun stuff. But it's pretty cool. This is a container like 150. We'd add in. Oh yeah, let's go make these symbols. So make the nav bar. Control Shift A. Nav bar. And let's make the footer symbol. Shift A. Footer. Go over here. Or not here. Let's rename this to style guide. Style guide. Save. And go to the search results. And add in the nav bar. Just drop that nav bar top here. And add in the footer, the bottom. So we got that footer the whole time. And we could, of course, add whatever other content we wanted here. But that was just like quickly putting that together. Yeah, so we've got that first page. I don't know if I want to build the second one right now. I might do that maybe on the live stream, like go through that process. Yeah, I think that would be a good exercise. Yeah, I'll do that on the live stream when I end up sharing this. So we'll see if we get any interaction from Ryan. And let's see what else do we want to do here. We definitely want to give it meta tag description. So we'll call this aviation gen, or it's aviation American gen concept. And say America's greatest gen. It is delicious stuff if you haven't tasted it. Always consume it in moderation. That's a pretty great quote. But yeah, it's greatest gen. Aviation. So concept website designed by Jeff Black and by Broodryk. Webflow. Cool. There we go. And some different graph settings. Want that to match. Let's grab a nice picture. Let's see, we might end up making some screenshots instead. Let's publish the site again. Not crazy about that sliding in like that. And looks like we have some horizontal scrolling going on. Yeah, let's make sure we've got overflow hidden styles on all the sections. Wasn't on that one. Cool. Publish that. That'll get rid of that horizontal scroll bar. Cool. Still not crazy about the right side. I feel like this should also like kind of slide down. So yeah, let's make that happen. So let's go to our button here. And select this nav bar and move it to the top, negative 100%. This is the initial state. Move it back in. Let's do I can have it right here, honestly. I don't want that to happen. Yeah, I think it'll be okay to have it in here. Move it to 0%. And do ease. I think this, maybe it's just too fast. Do like a 1 second. This offset by 1 second. Okay, happen. Let's see. Yeah, it looks a bit better. Before it felt like really rushed. Not quite as smooth. You want that smooth interaction happening. Yes. Nice. Yeah, that's a lot more satisfactory. It's quite a slow animation for everything happening there. Let's see, let's navigate origins, production, cocktails. Oh, that's so cool. Nice. Why is that submit showing up there? I might just make it text. Yeah, make it get rid of the background color. The background image. Let's make the line height 48 pixels. Or, yeah. Cool. Looks a little better. It's not the same arrow, but it is like an actual functioning search box or something. Go import some data in. Cool. Let's publish that. Oh, that's off by like a pixel. Cool. And go to the SSL line. Cool. That's pretty sweet. It's still kind of bugging me. That needs to be nice and round. It's not. It's at 100%, 50%. I don't know if the scale is causing that or just Windows machine or what's going on there. Wow, that blur effect is so cool. Nice. If I click this, got that video. That's pretty awesome. Cool. I almost want to add like the parallax interactions here, but I think it's okay without that. We can always refine this later, but I think it's I'll send it over to Jeff and get some feedback, see what he thinks we should do as far as like making adjustments, and then go from there. Cool. Thank you all. All right, that was fun. Looking forward to sharing this with everyone in the live stream. So talk soon.